cruising down the highway in your reliable car. Suddenly, the engine shudders violently. You pull over, pop the hood, and dark smoke pours out. That mechanical failure is no longer an isolated incident. It is the exact grievance spilling into the streets right now. Thousands of angry drivers have organized the Gadi March and formed the E20 Junta Party, carrying flags and signs to demand answers. To understand why, we have to look back to April 2025. The government rolled out E20, a fuel blend containing 20% ethanol, across the country, hitting that national milestone a full 5 years ahead of their original schedule. Almost immediately, owners of vehicles manufactured before 2023 started reporting the same bizarre symptoms. Their fuel efficiency plummeted, and they found themselves facing frequent, unusually expensive trips to the mechanic. This chart breaks down the scale of the problem. A recent survey by Local Circles reveals that 67% of pre-2023 vehicle owners have experienced these exact mileage drops and severe maintenance issues since the rollout. The government designed the E20 mandate to lower carbon emissions and strengthen the national economy. But on the ground, everyday commuters are paying out of pocket to repair the collateral damage to their own engines. Ethanol is an alcohol-based fuel. It burns much cleaner than pure petrol, which makes it an attractive option for reducing greenhouse gases. However, it also possesses a harsh chemical reality. It is highly corrosive. This diagram shows a pre-2023 fuel pipe, engineered strictly for pure petrol. Exposed to 20% ethanol, the alcohol gradually eats away the inner rubber lining, creating microscopic tears. This localized corrosion blocks optimal fuel flow, forcing the engine to work harder and burn more fuel. The Automotive Research Association of India, or ARAI, actually conducted a study on this. They produced a report documenting this precise rubber deterioration in older vehicles, but that specific report was not made public prior to the mandate. With the engineering data kept quiet, consumers were left to figure it out the hard way. They are now filing cases in consumer courts across the country, actively demanding compensation for severe engine damage they attribute directly to the new fuel. The grievance on the street stems from this gap in communication. Mandating a new chemical standard without disclosing the mechanical risks to older car owners left millions vulnerable to thousands of rupees in sudden repairs. Inside Parliament, the official government stance is absolute. Ministers stated on the record there is no substantiated evidence linking E20 petrol to widespread engine damage. The state's defense relies heavily on the macroeconomic ledger. By swacking 20% of the nation's petrol consumption with domestically produced ethanol, India is drastically cutting down its reliance on expensive imported crude oil. Domestically, the policy creates a guaranteed buyer for the agricultural sector. Sugarcane is India's primary ethanol source, funneling billions of rupees directly into rural farming. Critics point to a stark discrepancy. Pure petrol costs the country around 50 to 55 rupees a liter to produce, while ethanol costs 70 to 72 rupees. Because the additive is more expensive, the government provides significant subsidies to distilleries to make the math work. These financial contradictions are why protests have focused anger on the policy's loudest champion, demanding accountability directly from Union Road Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari. The government has balanced the national ledger and reduced import dependency. But the math only works because the hidden costs, the engine wear, the lost mileage, the mechanic bills, have been quietly offloaded onto the everyday driver. This sense of bearing an invisible financial burden has triggered what organizers are calling the cockroach effect. Activists watched how the massive student protests over the NEET exam paper leaks successfully forced a minister's resignation, and they adopted that exact blueprint for the fuel crisis. Now, a diverse coalition is forming. Tourist transport operators and taxi unions have organized marches to Parliament Street, while prominent political figures like Arvind Kejriwal are hosting national town halls to amplify the anti-E20 movement. The pressure is mounting fast enough that Gadkari recently had to approach the Bombay High Court, seeking action against a wave of defamatory deepfakes and viral posts targeting him over the ethanol rollout. But the core demand from these organizers is remarkably practical. They are not asking the government to abandon ethanol. They simply want a democratic choice at the pump. The option to buy E0 or E10 for older cars, leaving E20 for the newer vehicles built to handle it. Implementing massive systemic changes without providing the necessary transitional infrastructure always leaves a gap. Right now, the Indian middle class is standing in that gap, absorbing the mechanical and financial friction of a green transition they were never fully prepared for. Take a moment to check your car's manual to see what level of ethanol your engine is actually designed to take. Let us know what year your vehicle is, and if you've noticed a drop in your mileage in the comments below.